dumb videos about guitars in my basement. All right. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Will you just look at it? Look at it. Oh, anybody who knows me, if I told them I was getting a new guitar, never in 100 years would guess this. And I love this guitar. I love this guitar. All right, we got a little history on this bad boy. So, and you can see I'm smiling because, man, this has been a long time coming. So, the year is 1984. I'm a senior in high school. Yeah, I'm old. Okay. Anyway, and Aerosmith is my favorite band, and they've been broken up for 5 years, and they released Rockin' a Hard Place in '82, and that was great. And I did like that album, but had a couple solo albums from Joe Perry Project, and Brad Whitford had Whitford St. Holmes, and I love those, but it didn't scratch that full Aerosmith itch. So '84, they announced they're getting back together, going on the Back in the Saddle tour. So July of '84, they're playing a little podunk town way up northern Michigan. Got tickets, and I went. And Joe Perry comes out with this. It was a green guitar, not as green as this. It was more of a, I don't know, it's not olive. It's more like a seafoam green. And yeah, this is pretty green, but whatever. I'll try and throw a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I was like, what is that? And of course, back then, we didn't have the internets at our disposal to know, look up and find out what the heck dude was playing. So fast forward a number of years later, I'm watching a little concert video of them from '84 on that Back in the Saddle tour, and it's from Oakland. And sure enough, he's playing that guitar, and I'm like, what is that? So started internet sleuthing. Took a while, found out what it is. It's called a Hendrick Generator. And I'm like, oh, I gotta find one of those. So they rarely come up for sale, very rarely. And so I'll give you a little history. So Kurt Hendrick was a luthier, and he decided he loved building guitars, and he designed this design, the Hendrick Generator, with Billy Gibbons, the Reverend Billy G. And he had that going, and he had a few other designs too, very Las Vegas 50s type futuristic spacely sprockets, Jetsons type styles, and they're really cool. Anyway, so he starts building these guitars, and he wants to expand it a little more. He didn't really know what he was doing. All right, we need to hold on a cotton picking second here. I need to clarify something. When I say Kurt didn't know what he was doing, it was in regards to mass production. When it comes to guitar building, Bro knew what he was doing. So just want to make sure that that's cleared up, because he even talks about it in the article where he tried to go mass production and didn't know how to do it, and that's why he got the guys from Heritage. So we now return you to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you. So he gave his tools to the guys at Heritage who were just starting. This would have been early '85, and they built like 100 generators, and off they went, and they pop up every once in a while. They're really expensive, and people snag them up pretty quick. So fast forward to earlier this year, I found Kurt on the interwebs and in his reverb store, And I contacted him and I said, hey, are you still making the generators? And it was a funny you should ask situation. So he said, I got this one. He had some pictures of it while it was being built. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to make that happen. So conversed with him over the course of a couple of months via email, and just a genuine dude. Loves what he's doing. Just loves talking guitars. We talked about what I like and what he likes, and uh, bands he's hung out with, and lots of just fun stories. But anyway, so I am going to link an article from a magazine with a kind of a backstory on Kurt and his guitars, and you can see some of the stuff he's built. It's just mind-blowingly cool. It's just got that whole aesthetic. So you think this is crazy? There's a couple other ones out there too that are really, really crazy. So anyway, um, he shipped it to me, and love at first sight. Just what a cool aesthetic, and it's I'm usually a single cut guy, 24.75 scale. So this has a fender scale and a compound radius, which are two things that I'm not extremely familiar with, but I've been doing this long enough that I can adapt to anything. So a little bit about this guitar. It's very light. I don't even. It might be 8 pounds, and as you can see, no neck dive. And you would think a guitar kind of looks like this will have some neck dive, and nope, nothing. Just really well balanced. So it's got a maple neck with a scarf joint, and this is where the Gibson snobs. That's how they built them in the 50s. Gibson snobs. Waste your money. Pay way too much because it's vintage and it's old. Old and vintage don't mean it's good. Sorry, Gibson snobs. You're fooling yourself and you're wasting your money. So much modern stuff is so much better. I will put my heritages up against 75% of the vintage Gibsons out there. I will do it. But they won't. You know why? Because they're scared to be proved wrong. That whatever. Not a fan of Gibson anymore. But I was when I was a kid. Anyway. So a little more about this guitar. Got the inlines, which I'm used to a 3x3. So cool. Kurt machines these tuning pegs himself, and I'll include some B-roll of them. They're amazingly cool. I mean, what a cool aesthetic and design. It's like he puts this so much thought into everything. It's like, how can I make this functional and cool? And he does it because he's a genius. He really is. So, he machines all these parts, and it's got the string through body, and real simple, just a master volume, master tone, three-way switch, right where I like it on my single cuts, humbucker, and a single coil. And one of the coolest things about this is, and I'll show B-roll, probably pop it in right here, the cream binding. And then right as the cream binding meets the natural back, there's a thin line of black binding. And it's just so, not innovative, it's just so cool. It's like, who thinks of this stuff? Kurt Hendrick. Because Kurt Hendrick's the man. So anyway, I love this guitar. I'm going to play it for a little bit for you. And you can see by the smile on my face, man, I'm happy. This has been 4 decades of pursuit to have something like this. And it is worth the wait. It was worth every penny I paid for it. So I will put a link to, obviously, the article that I spoke about earlier, and I'll put a link to his website. And then he's also on Instagram, and I'll put a link in there for that. So, yeah, that's where we are, man. So, all right, enough of me talking. Let me do a little playing for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of start out just kind of break up with a little delay, and I'm just gonna riff some stuff. mention this makes me happy. Did I mention any of that? Did I mention what a cool dude Kurt Hendrick is? Did I mention all the things about this guitar? Anyway, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And if you are interested in owning something like this, get a hold of Kurt. Like I said, I'll put a link down to his website and contact him. He'll build a guitar for you. And you'll be smiling like me because what a rock and roll machine. All right, man. I hope you enjoyed the video because I sure did. But if you didn't, I'm sorry. See ya.